with this, ladies and gentlemen, we will now, just like to thank our inaugural keynote by Ms. Bela Jamil and her work. So thank you very much for setting the tone right for today's session. One of the most important things that has also helped us bring this session together and to your screens has been through our partner and through our community support. Our PanElla one, which will be moderated by my partner, Bemisal Iqbal, will be focusing on women developing communities. This includes some of our partners like National Incubation Center, Karachi. This ElleConnect conference is also supported by the Arts Council of Pakistan and their project, which is Women Building Cohesive Societies, Impact Dynamics, and Orange Tree Foundation. So, to be honest, it feels really funny and really nice because GrowElle Labs is where it is today because of our community support that we have received. And it's not just support extended to us, but the community at large. And we'd love for you all to hear about, the various projects, work, and everyone, will be sharing that through the panel. So I'll hand it over to Bemisal. Thank you once again to our partners and Ms. Bela. And over to you, Bemisal.
Thank you so much, Aksa. Wow, that was a brilliant start by Ms. Bela Jamil. And I hope everyone else in this room is just as pumped up as I am about working towards women in STEAM. And without further ado, I'll start off the PanElla one, which is Women Developing Communities. We have an amazing panel with us. With us, we have, I'll shortly introduce all of us in the panel one by one. We have Sana Shah, who is program manager at NICK. She is also the visiting faculty, has been visiting faculty at NED and Zavist. Fizza Ali, who is the manager of donor-funded projects in this project that is supporting this conference at Arts Council. We have Maryam Arshad, who is the founder and director at Impact Dynamics. And we have Ramsha Khan, who is a senior counselor at Orange Tree Foundation. So thank you, all of you, for being here. I'm going to start off with you, Sana, because first of all, one of the reasons GrowElle Labs is in existence is one of the grants that we won at Built by Her, which was hosted by NIC Karachi. So Sana, you and us, we go a long way back. And keeping that in mind, and the fact that you work with the startups ecosystem in general, and so many women who you probably come across in STEM every other day, I wanted you to tell us that what have you seen, or is there any barrier to entry for women in the sector? How have the women been welcomed into the ecosystem? And is there something that we can potentially look at into doing in the future? Like Bela Auntie said, that there is a lot more that we need to do. So if you could give your feedback on that.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for inviting me for this amazing session, and congratulations to both you and Aksa for putting this together. Yes, as you said that you guys were one of the winners for Built by Her, and I think it has been amazing journey for me so far in these last 3 years at NIC to see that, how this whole program and in general also the community for women has evolved. So I'll just share this example that we've just finished with Built by Her 3.0, and the grand finale is in the coming week. And I think Aksa is mentoring a few of the teams. So in these last 3 years, what I have seen is that girls have become, more active in terms of working online, as Bela mentioned that, this hybrid model. Initially, when we launched this, it was COVID. So it was very difficult not for girls like you and Aksa who know tech, but girls in the remote areas, especially in GB, Balochistan and all. It was very difficult for us to, tell them that how to go about this, how to use the internet, how to be on Zoom and all of that. But this time around, I think it is amazing to see that how women and girls from different communities have picked up this and are doing so well. So that is something which has changed a lot. Other than that, I think still there is an issue with females that they, kind of get scared or are reluctant. I'm not going to say scared, but reluctant to, come out at a particular place, or let's say, be on a forum like this, and they just get scared. So, but we as NIC and as community builders are trying to, sometimes I literally get calls from their parents that, what is happening? Tell us where they are going, where are you taking them, and all of that. But that has changed. So yeah, I think with time it has improved a lot, and that's what we are here to do, to support females and girls as much as possible.
You guys are doing a wonderful job. And I remember Build by Her ki time pe 2 years ago, when we were part of the Build by Her hackathon, you were actually mentoring females, and jo ladkiyan jo pooch rahi thi ki how do we do this, how do we run this session, how do we do. So it's a lot of like Bela just said, coming together of people and pushing one another also in some ways and convincing them. Just aap keh rahi hain ki confidence boost ki bahut zyada zarurat kahin होती है. So has anything happened NIC के experience में जहां आपको one-on-one बैठकर mentor करना पड़ा हो या लड़कियों को समझाना पड़ा हो?
बहुत दफा हुआ है. I think अभी recently also जो मैं एक example दे रही थी, I'm not going to take the name, but ये है कि it was literally like with the teams, I had to talk to the parents also, because they were like, hey, what is happening? And एक session tha, this was not for Built by Her, but for another hackathon that we did, and the girl was from Hyderabad, and their parents, they literally came, dropped her at NIC, and then they were like, they sat there because they didn't know where she's going, what is happening. And normal bilkul families jaise hamari hoti hain, so the students se zyada jo hai parents ko mentoring maine ki, and I was like, what is happening, but I guess it's part of my job. Yeah.
And also it's wonderful to see that the girl had to overcome something back home for her to come and support her, right? So they were there supporting her, something they were unfamiliar with, but still have her back, that we're here, you do what you have to do. That's brilliant. Fizza, I'll come to you. Since you're manager of funded projects at Arts Council, I wanted to talk from the funding point of view. Have you seen that there's a difference between projects jinki funding aati hai for women run programs, or women, you've probably worked with women run programs, GrowElle Labs being one of them. Have you seen a difference in the funding that comes, or grants that come, that are just women only, or have you not seen this disparity?
Okay. So basically at Arts Council, we are supporting women in their local initiatives and in, in their entrepreneurial endeavors. So talking from a funded project perspective, because in international community, there is a lot of research that is being done on women's role in peace building. And when women take part in the process of peace building, how it's accelerated. So there is a lot of funding coming in that supports women-only initiative. So there's also there is a research done by USAID that supports that when women take part in local initiatives, the betterment of the community is generally, it's accelerated. The process of that, the community betterment process, it is accelerated. So from those perspectives, there's a lot of funding that's coming in for female entrepreneurs. But then again, there are also a lot of challenges along with it. So with women entrepreneurs, you have to, as Sana was just mentioning, it's not just women that you're supporting, you also have to mentor their parents, you also have to build the confidence of the community that just because a girl is going out and, taking part in other activities does not mean that she's going to abandon her cultural values. So that is a given with that. And overall, from the funding stream, there are also more avenues for women to now go and ask for funding. So, for example, NIC is doing a fabulous job, and there is Catalyst Labs as well. There are projects like women building cohesive societies that supports women. Then there are also small grants given by British Council for artists and for girls in STEM field. So there are avenues for it, but you have to develop a certain skill set and certain profile to be able to qualify for it.
Right. Thank you so much, Fizza. Moving on to Ramsha Khan, counselor at Orange Tree Foundation. Ramsha, you work directly with female students and mothers. Mostly, there is a mothers program also, and you are talking to mothers every day about their students, their progress. You're talking to female students about their scholarships. आपको क्या लगता है that what is the need of the hour for them? Because they come from backgrounds with limited resources. So when it comes to STEM and STEAM education, what do you think is the need of the hour for these women?
Okay, thank you, Bimisal. Before we start, I would just like to give you a brief introduction about OTF so that everyone can understand what we actually do. So OTF is a non-profit organization which provides educational scholarships to people who come, to individuals who come from a disadvantaged background. And not just that, we have a holistic program where we, apart from just providing them with scholarships, we provide them with counseling, quality healthcare, and need-based analysis. Because we believe if they do not have enough resources, they can't even perform well in their academics, right? And that is what our goal is. So up till now, we have awarded around 1,800 scholarships, and this year our aim is to award 700 scholarships. We have thankfully, we have like a 55 to 45 female ratio of STEM scholarships, which is quite rare. And I'm glad that Orange Tree Foundation was able to do that. We were able to do this by partnering with universities, which offer STEM courses like NED, FAST, even NAS. And along with, we have collaborated with organizations. In the last year, we collaborated with Navina, which offered specific scholarships to, STEM courses to students who wanted to continue, who wanted to go with STEM courses or STEM programs. And this year, we are also working with Abdullah Foundation. So they have also offered specific STEM scholarships, which I feel like is extremely important. And as answering your questions where you asked that what is the need of the hour. So I have been working with these students, with female students, with male students. One problem and one difference that I've seen working with female students is that they do not have role models. They come from disadvantaged backgrounds. A, sometimes they do not have the support. B, if they do have the support, they don't have anyone to look up to, right? So they have big dreams, but their expectations are quite low. Mashallah, so we have genius students. Two of our students recently were awarded with a gold medal, and that too in a STEM field. I think they were doing computer sciences. And I mean, that's a great achievement, but the problem is that since there is a lack of role models, they don't really know if they will be able to do something, if they will be able to work at multinationals or big organizations, if they will be able to start up their own businesses. And what we really want, I think right now, is female role models. And we're always looking out for people who can, mentor them. So people like, people in our panel today, like Fizza, like Sana, we really want these people to mentor our students. If they can do it online, if they can come to our office, I think that would be great too. And tell them that it is possible to work in multinationals. It is possible to start up their own businesses if they can. I mean, it's just that they have the resources, we've provided them with the resources, they do not have people to look up to. So yeah, I think that is what we really need right now.
Ramsha, you also work in communities which have volatile backgrounds, right? Which may be vulnerable to extremism. For example, we've had cases of extremism or vulnerable areas like in Liari, for example. So when you deal with students coming from, or female students coming from those backgrounds, how do you mentor them or give them the confidence to actually go out and pursue their dreams?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so surprisingly, female students coming from Liari, I think their parents support them a lot. I think day before yesterday, I met this girl, a very young girl. She's the only child, and she comes from Liari. And she had huge dreams. And when I talked to her father, because her father was the one who dropped her, I talked to him, and he was so proud of her daughter and was like, I want to give her everything. And if she wants to become an engineer, if she wants to become a doctor, I'll do that. And you know what? So I asked her what she wanted to do. And she's like, currently I'm trying to learn how to ride a bike. And I was like, what? You live in Liari, right? How are you supposed to do that? So she's like, no, my dad is so supportive. He's helping me. He supports me, and I feel like I'm very lucky. And she's in grade 8 right now. So yes. And I mean, whenever I talk about her, it gives me goosebumps. So people from Liari or people from areas where it is actually risky for girls to even go out, I feel like the number one thing is to talk to their parents. If these girls have the support of their parents, then I think they can achieve anything. We counsel the parents, we call them for meetings, we meet them like 4 times in a year. So we talk to the parents, we tell them how important it is for their children, not just for their boys, but for their daughters too, to study and to work even. And up till now, I think there are only a few parents who have been a little skeptical about it. But once you talk to them, once you give them examples, when they see you working, when they see women working and then counseling them and counseling their children, I think it motivates them a lot. And it has been going good up till now.
That's been brilliant. And because the fact that we're celebrating Ada Lovelace Day, this is a great story to start with, that, you know, that we can actually celebrate these young girls who are looking up to people like yourself and coming out and doing things that they wouldn't probably have otherwise done. Sana and Fizza, I'll bring the same question to you, that Karachi, again, there are areas, the city is volatile. There are areas where, you know, girls might be reluctant to come forward, opt for STEM programs, STREAM programs. They might think it's too much. Harassment is an issue, extremism is an issue. Karachi anyway is volatile that way. So starting with you, Fizza, how do you tackle that when it comes to Arts Council?
So there are various ways to it, and thanks to technology, I think we are getting there, because technology surpasses a lot of barriers. So if you are conducting remote trainings or remote conferences like this one, then provide that opportunity to girls who are not allowed to leave their homes, or who have mobility issues, or who are coming from disadvantaged financial backgrounds. So leveraging technology, you can overcome that. First. Second is, you will have to, you cannot pick and choose. You cannot just take women from the equation and work with them. It does not work like that. You will have to work with the whole community, and it will also include the male counterparts. So you will also have to educate the parents, the fathers, the brothers, the overall community about the importance of girls' education, about the importance of involvement of women in activities of peace building, right? So you will have to work with all of those. And one thing that works greatly in our experience is that people who are going from outside to these areas, the local residents of that area might not listen to them. For example, if I go to Liari and start talking about how they should let their daughters go out, it might not be as effective. It's always better to tap into the influential network of that area only. So take on to people who people listen to in those areas, who are role models in those areas. Bring them on board, educate them, train them, and then ask them to work for this cause. And then I think we also need to stop looking at religion as part of the problem and start looking at as part of the solution. So we should also tap into religious influence, because in a lot of these communities, the religious scholars hold a significant influence over how people live their lives. So we also need to work with them. We also need to, bring them on board, work with their boundaries and our boundaries. It's not going to be a quick process, and it does not, revolutionize communities overnight. But with continuous efforts, you can see changes.
Thank you so much. And absolutely, that is correct. Like, we need to build communities that way. Coming to Sana, you are, mashallah, heading one of the largest platforms, community building platforms, if I may, in the ecosystem right now. So according to you, how important is it for other platforms to also emerge, to sort of get the ball rolling and bring more communities together, bring more women in these communities together?
So I think more the merrier. I think we as NIC Karachi are still not doing that much that is required for the city itself. So communities like your platform and many others, reach out to us if you guys need any help and support, because we do have like a framework in order. We know how to go about it and all. One thing that we started to do very recently was that a lot of universities, they reach out to us and they say that, come and talk to our students and tell them that what you guys are doing and all. So we started the very first session with Jinnah University for Women. And I was surprised to see the talent over there. I think the only bit that was lacking at that university was the exposure and role models that you guys were talking about. So I would be really, really glad that if all of you, maybe can go to that university and talk to the girls. I think one of the finest applications that we have received in all these 3 hackathons that we did for Built by Her were from Jinnah University. It's just that girls over there, they come from middle class families or low middle class, and they don't know they don't have the direction. So we as NIC can do as much as we can, but I think people like you, Aksa, Fizza, Ramsha, and all of others can make a lot of change if we, instead of working in silos, maybe can come together and do something for girls, not of this university, but others as well. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. That is absolutely true. It's only with alliances that we can actually move things and make a reasonable or impactful change in society. And I think that goes for everyone in Pakistan, whether it's just bringing girls towards STEAM, education, health, jo bhi ho, alliances. And I think floods ko dekh kar maddenazar rakhte hue, it's quite obvious that we all need to come together as one body and then do what we do in our own expert areas and take things forward. So with this, I would like to thank all of you for joining the panel today and sharing the little bits of your work with us. Before going, I'll leave it open-ended to any 3 of you, because we're celebrating Ada Lovelace Day. Anything that has happened with your organization, jaise Ramsha ne abhi share kiya, the story about the girl who was learning how to ride a bike, something positive that you came across in your work, which was your motivation booster, and as far as STEM education is concerned in girls. So it's open to any 3 of you if you want to take that up and tell us a nice experience that you had. It could be a story, it could be a success story, it could be just something regular every day, but really boosts you.
Okay, I'll start. So we are having our annual meetings these days. So I met this girl yesterday.
Have you all lost Ramsha? Or is it just me?
Yeah, her video is frozen.
Okay, we'll wait for her to come back. I think she is back.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry.
Now I can. Now we can. So you met this girl.
Yeah, I met this girl. She was from IVS. I'm not going to name her, but she had 2 other sisters and she was the eldest. And she was like, she wanted to become an architect. And because she is a girl, her parents were not really okay with it. And they were like, what is our family going to say? What will the society say? We really want you to do something else. Why don't you choose something else? Why don't you become a teacher? Why don't you become something that all the other girls do? And she, let me tell you, she was one of the high achievers. Like she said, she's never gotten anything less than 90%. So I was like, okay, then what did you do? And she's like, I really talked to my parents. I tried to convince them. But one person who supported me was my father. And now she is in IVS, she's studying and she's living her dream basically. And she tells me that it's really difficult for her to commute because she lives really far, but it's not, she doesn't feel bad about it. She doesn't feel tired because she's living her dream. So this just made me really happy.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Ramsha. That's making me very happy. Fizza, Sana, over to you guys.
Yes, so I would, yeah. So as part of this project, we are supporting 7 social enterprises, GrowElle being one of these. So one of the other social enterprise is a vocational training center for women. And it's in Baldia. The people who are coming are the local, it's for girls who are coming from, low income backgrounds. So when they started, initially parents will just not trust them. So the mothers will usually come with their daughters, they will sit with them, they will wait for them. And once they are done, they will literally wait like 5-6 hours for this, for the session to get over with, and then take their daughters with them. But over the last 2-3 months, it has changed a lot. And it has changed in the sense that one of the parents, they, so the mother, she used to come with the daughter, and then she started trusting the daughter and she let her go on her own. So it started with that. And it also led to this social enterprise starting educational sessions for adults. With the daughters, they will also try to, work with the mothers as well and try to educate them as much as they can. So, and it came from the community itself. So, just seeing all those women worked up and working for a similar cause was very, motivating.
This is quite literally bringing communities together.
Yes.
And best of luck for this program. Sana, your turn.
Yeah. So I would like to share a story of 2 girls. They are not startup founders, but they are part of 2 different startups. And when they joined those startups, they were in a mess. Both divorced, one with 2 kids and the other one, thank God, no kids, but in a mess. And over these months, I have seen them evolve. They are always on time, no offs, very dedicated. And I think right now I can proudly say that they are an important part of these startups. And ab jo hai, they are at that stage jahan pe they are saying that, whatever happened in our life is because of NIC. We come to this place because we really love the vibe of this place, and now they want to have their own startups. So I think that is something that, I especially remember this one girl, the one with 2 kids. She would just used to come and just cry and sit there and say that, and such a good looking pretty girl, mashallah say, and she would be like, always in depression that, what happened, what is going to happen with me? I have 2 kids, then I have parents at home, they worry about me. She finished her MBA. She's part of one of the very good startups at NIC, and now thinking to have her own startup, and the other one as well. So I think that itself is an achievement that, we gave them that environment which they thought is safe, and now they want to do something for themselves. So yeah, that is, I think, one of our success stories.
Wow, that's such a booster. And the fact that, they've got the right place, they came to the right place, and they got the nurturing they needed at that point in time. Wow, mashallah. Thank you so much, Ramsha, Fizza, and Sana. Our time for this panel is up. I really wanted to ask more questions, but inshallah next time. Thank you so much. And Aqsa, over to you for the next panel.